right, next up I'd like to invite the guests of honor for the evening to come up and say a few words. Bride and groom, Ben and Kayla.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. Yeah, this is amazing. You know, Kayla and I have gone to 4 weddings this year, not including the one we're doing right now, the one that's for us. And yeah, every time I went to them, I kept on thinking like, that's going to be me in a few months. And then it turned into, that's going to be me in a few weeks. And now here I am, and it is me right now. And it's crazy. It's pretty surreal, but understandably so, I'm having a wonderful day. And yeah, and when Eric said a few minutes ago that I have a few words, by few, I have many. But yeah, so let's see, we're gonna start here. Yeah, so I'd just like to take a moment. I know some of the guys in here in this room that are married, they know what it's like to kind of stand at the end of the aisle and see their bride walk down the aisle, right? You have this engagement period and you're just waiting, and then the moment she gets to walk down, you just go, wow, like that's the girl I'm gonna be marrying in about 20 or 30 minutes. And it was funny how some of you guys might have seen before, you can go online and see reaction photos of grooms seeing their bride for the first time in their dress, right? And you'll see these guys like getting all sad and this and that. I look at that, I'm like, I got it. I'm like, it's gonna be emotional, but I don't cry that often, so I thought like, I'm good, I got this. It wasn't until all the bridesmaids came into place, and the main doors at St. Pat's, the 2 doors don't completely, there's like a little space right down the middle, so you can see a little bit of movement if someone's behind the doors, right? And of course I see a lot of this white, and I'm like, oh, there's Kayla, she's getting ready, she and Gary are gonna come out into the aisle. And the moment those doors opened, it's like I had an epiphany. Like I thought to myself, oh, that's why the guys were crying in those photos, because like it's such this big and emotional moment where, this girl that you've spent all this time with, like she's walking down and, after all this teasing of like what her dress is like and like, oh, it's great, I'll show all the other girls, but Ben, you have to wait until the wedding day. And finally I got to see it today and it was so worth it. My stomach flipped upside down, or that's what it felt like. My hands were shaking a lot and my mouth was dry. I was getting really emotional. Like all these things were happening while Kayla was walking down the aisle. And I'm pretty sure that if we were in a longer church and there was like another minute or 2 in that walk that Kayla would have to do before she got to me, I probably would have bawled my eyes out. But luckily enough, the church is as it is, and she got there and I was like, okay, I'm cool, but wow. For some reason, I just thought like that was such an incredible moment. Like just probably like, the best moment in my entire life. And
so far.
So I don't know if this one will be, well, it might be, whenever that, it's funny how, for the record though, right now, that's the best moment of my life. If you were to ask me in a week or 2, I might have a different answer for you, but right now, that's the best moment. I only made that joke because Kayla brought it up, for the record. So I wanted to share that with you guys because that was such an incredible moment for me to kind of see Kayla, and it was so emotional. And it was funny because Vince, who's done a wonderful job at recording the whole event today, he wanted to have a mic on my suit, on my lapel, to kind of record the vows. And the whole time I was like, oh my goodness. So I'm like, oh, sorry, Vince. And I know later on he's going to listen to like a half hour of me being like, oh my goodness, and just like freaking out and just being so emotional. But I just wanted to tell you about that because it just like, it means a lot to me. Like I've been waiting for that moment for so long. It's been such a crazy year for Kayla and I, doing all this wedding planning and working, the work I've been doing in film this year has just been crazy. There's been so much going on that to have that moment with Kayla walking down the aisle, it was the best for now. So anyways, now I'll go to the script because I agree with Carol that if I don't have a script, like I'll just ramble for a while, so I need to have something to look at here. So, what I have written, wow, this is truly incredible. I was trying to think of an intro. Really genuine, right? So I wanted to think of an interesting way to explain how Kayla and I feel right now. And I thought maybe I can find like an interesting way, something that doesn't involve a film reference, but then I was like, no, I need to use a film reference. So here we go. There's a film from 1946 directed by Frank Capra called It's a Wonderful Life. It is an absolutely fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, please do yourself a favor, and in a month or so, whenever we get into the Christmas season, watch it then, because it is a Christmas movie for the most part. It's an amazing movie, and I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end in the event that any of you haven't seen it, but please, please, please watch it. It's so good. Don't let the whole black and white, oh, it's an old movie, suck it up, watch it. It's really enjoyable. You guys are going to love it. The way I was feeling emotional earlier today, you're going to feel that at the end of that movie. It is so good. What I wanted to say is that for those of you who have seen the movie, the way George Bailey acts in the last 10 minutes, he's really, really happy. And I'm not going to say why, but that's how I feel right now. And all I want to do is just run out into the streets of Ottawa and just be like, I married Kayla, we're married, and just scream and yell.
We're married, Emporia.
That's right. So that's how we feel right now. It is so overwhelming. There's so much going on, and it's all so incredible. And because of that, of course, even though Kayla and I did a lot of planning for this day, we had a lot of help as well. So I need to go through a list to thank everyone that's helped us out. And before I get to the people that specifically helped us out with the wedding day, there are 3 people I need to thank for the relationship of Kayla and I. So the obvious 2 are Mary Whalen and Patrick Whalen, who technically basically brought us together because Pat and Mary and I go way back in the homeschooling days, and we've known each other for a long time. And then they both moved to Ottawa, and I was off in Montreal studying film in university. And then during that time, Pat and Mary, they met Kayla while they were there. So then, lo and behold, whenever I needed a place to stay in Ottawa, I roomed with Pat, and then there was one evening where we all got together, and Kayla was there, and that was the first time that I had actually met her. So I'd like to give a round of applause to them for bringing us together. We wouldn't have met if it wasn't for them. And then there's one more person I'd like to thank before we get to the list of people for today. Mark. Hey. I met Mark a few years ago, and Mark, Pat, and I lived together for a few years. And Mark's been a wonderful guy. He's so much fun to hang out with, such a joy. I love Mark. I love hanging out with him. And I'm going to miss him when he leaves in December to go to Hamilton to study medicine, right? So, yeah. Yeah, that thing. There was one, I'll just say it quickly because it could take a while to talk about, but Kayla and I, as you guys have heard earlier today, there's that whole thing of Kayla and I were hanging out, right? And after a while, Kayla and I went to Denny's one day, and she was asking me, she was like, Ben, where is this going? And of course, I was so caught off guard by it, because I was like, I'm having a good time just hanging out. This is great. This is a lot of fun. But of course, she wanted an answer, and I said, I'm not sure. I don't know. And I think the answer I gave her was kind of vague. It wasn't, probably wasn't the best answer, because I was nervous, right? I mean, I'd been a single guy for 4.5 years, and with this girl kind of potentially asking me, where is this going? Could this be in a relationship? I'm like, I don't know. I need time to think about it, right? I need, all that time. And later on in the evening, Mark heard about how this went, and Mark came down to my room, and he grilled me, and he was like, why weren't you clear? And he was asking me, what had happened. And of course I got very defensive. I was like, Mark, back off. I got it, clearly. But Mark afterwards kind of apologized about sorry that I kind of got in the way or whatnot. But what Mark did was it made me think, okay, what did I say to her earlier? What could I have said better? And then I sent a Facebook message later on to Kayla saying how to basically just tell her that I needed time to think about it, right? But that I wasn't excluding the possibility of a dating relationship. I guess what I had said earlier kind of sounded like a no, but I basically, what I gave her later on was a maybe. I just said I needed more time. And lo and behold, as we continued to hang out, we eventually started dating, and one thing led to another, clearly. But I just want to give a round of applause to Mark for kind of, laying down the law, so thank you. So I appreciate that, Mark. Thank you. So now, back to the script. So we have some people to thank. Johnny Ross, also known as DJ Roscoe, right over there. has been a great collaborator, whether you find yourself excited at the music of our grand entrance, or you end up tapping your foot to our amazing set list for the dance later on, and trust me, it's going to be so awesome. You can thank Johnny for that. So let's give a round of applause for Johnny, please. Next, Tim Beklinski, our photographer. Tim, where are you? Are you here? Oh, hey, what's up? Didn't know you were that close. Wow. So Tim Beklinski is our photographer. He's been an absolute joy to work with. His photographs have captured the love we have for each other. I'm like, yeah, that's a little cheesy, but it's true. He really has. He's exceptionally hardworking, and we're both exhilarated to see how his photos will turn out today. And of course, we had a bit of an issue to deal with because we were going to go shoot in a number of outdoor parks for the photography in between the mass and the reception, and because of the weather, we weren't able to do that. So just a few hours ago, just working with Tim and having all the photographs, like he's so good at what he does. He can take like an ordinary location and make it look wonderful with the way he places us and the angles and all that. So Tim, thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause to Tim. Francesca Bailey and Mary Whalen, who collaborated on the music that you heard during the ceremony. Having all of these wonderful pieces of music play together in the same mass is overwhelming. And I also got to say, when I was talking a few minutes ago about getting like really emotional when Kayla was walking down the aisle, part of that too comes with the music, right? Sometimes you hear a piece of music that's just so beautiful that you have like such a reaction to it, and that music played a part in the way that I saw Kayla walking down towards me. So Mary and Francesca, thank you so much. Matthew Everett and Eric Long, our MCs, who had the fun opportunity of entertaining us with jokes and games, but also, and more of the games will happen later on, but also informing us of the rules. They are such genuinely fun people to be around, and then usually there can only be one, but in the case of tonight, there had to be two. Thank you, Matt and Eric. Vince and Richard Pilon, our videographers for the evening, both have such an eye for stunning visuals. I trusted them so much that I didn't give them any directions for how to shoot our wedding today. I knew they could handle it, and they're doing such a fantastic job. And I know the results are going to look beautiful, and I can't wait to see all of it together. I look forward to watching the footage with you, Vince. So let's hear it for them. Thank you, guys. Michelle Sinisak. Michelle. There she is. Michelle Sinisak, our cake and cupcake baker. I've had the pleasure of eating many meals and desserts made by Michelle over the years. When it came time for us to decide who we wanted for this important task, it didn't take us long to realize that it had to be Michelle. So let's hear a round of applause for Michelle. Woo! And I don't think he's here, but, oh no. Yeah, Abraham Gerber-Michael, he was the manager here, one of the managers here at the hotel. He's the one that Kayla and I met with to figure all of this out. We've met with numerous times prior to our wedding. He's been nothing but helpful to us. Excuse me. Every time we asked him how we wanted a particular aspect of our wedding to be, he always said yes. We never felt limited while working with him. He allowed us to make the most of this reception. So wherever he may be, thank you, Abraham. Let's hear it for him. Almost there, guys. Just a few more minutes. To our maid of honor and our best man, Carol Rayome and Riley Monahan. You guys are so awesome. In fact, if you look up the word awesome in Google Images, you'll see a picture of Carol and Riley first. You were always ready and willing to help, and we gave you some big responsibilities, which you guys handled like pros. For example, all the wedding favors that you have at your tables, Riley and I made those together. Riley helped me out with that, which I appreciate. And Carol, if you guys got a chance to see the seating chart outside, my goodness, it is so awesome. Yeah, Kayla showed me a picture a few days ago, and she said, I don't think this does it justice, but I looked at it, and I was like, oh, this looks so cool. Find your name among the stars with the movie posters and the way the writing is. Like, it looks so awesome. So let's hear it for the both of them. Thank you, guys. To our family and friends who have been rooting for us all along or helping us out when we really needed it, it was comforting to know that we had so many people who took such a strong interest in our wedding. I can't tell you how many times this year that I've said things like, I'm getting married on October 22nd, 2016. The mass is at St. Pat's. The reception is at Hilton Garden Inn. We're going to a cottage in Wakefield, Quebec for our honeymoon, right? I said all those things like probably hundreds of times because people would ask me what was going on, and I'd tell them, and you guys were so interested. Also for the people who took time out of their busy schedule to travel down here. I know I have some family that came from Hawaii, from Florida, from New Jersey. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. Woo!
Yeah, Josie.
On a side note, as I'm looking at these notes here, my hand's kind of here, and I'm seeing this piece of gold, and I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, my wedding ring. I'm clearly not used to wearing it. Hopefully in a few days, though, it'll come normal, but I rarely wear rings, so. Yeah, work in progress, but it's good. We got it. To our parents, who have supported us in so many ways during our engagement period. They helped us financially, and they were always willing to answer any questions we had about the wedding process. And trust me, there were many. Before we were even engaged, I had no doubt that my parents and Kayla's would always be there for us when we need them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And last but certainly not least, we'd like to thank God for bringing us together and giving us the strength to love one another in good times and in bad. He has blessed us with so many incredible things in our lives, and for us to enter the sacrament of marriage is such a tremendous honor. Thank you. Let's hear it for God. Woo! And thank goodness I'm done my part. I hand it off to my beautiful bride, Kayla.
So, for the record, I have the unfortunate luck of accidentally making inappropriate jokes when I don't intend them. I meant your marriage in general.
It does happen all the time.
It happens all the time. They're like, oh, Kayla.
You'll get used to it, though.
Because my speech is a lot more serious. So I have to read because I'm really nervous. Well, hello, everyone.
Hi, Kayla.
Over the last few months, people kept asking me, so, are you getting nervous? And my answer was always the same, nope. But this moment right here is what makes me nervous. Public speaking has always stressed me out. I've always been afraid that what I'll say will not be enough, and especially in this case. How do I begin to give you the speech you all deserve? What words of gratitude could possibly express the profound appreciation I feel? Thank you. Thank you for being the ones that have helped shape Ben and me into the people we are today. Thank you for your hugs, kisses, tears, smiles, laughs, patience, encouragements. Thank you for loving us. We didn't use it at our ceremony, but I'm sure most of you are familiar with the iconic Bible passage used for weddings. 1 Corinthians 13, you know, love is patient, love is kind, love is blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I'm a little bitter. Society gushes and romanticizes over the second half, but completely forgets the first. But the real wisdom of that passage is in the first half. It goes a little something like this. If I speak in the tongues of mortals and of angels, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have all prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to move mountains, but I do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all my possessions, and if I hand over my body so that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. We gain nothing, have nothing, are nothing without love. Folks, this isn't just the romantic stuff. I'm pretty sure you're not just here to see Ben and me kiss. Maybe. We are here today to celebrate not only the holy sacrament of marriage, but also the great gift of love we all have for one another. Again, thank you for loving us. I thank God every day for the blessing it's been to have each of you in our lives. To finish this off, I'll have my maid of honor hand me my bouquet. Thank you, Karen. Gotcha. To finish this off, I want to commemorate 2 particular individuals that are with us here tonight. Usually the bride does a bouquet toss, but I'm going to do something a little different. I want to dedicate my bouquet to the longest married couple in this room. My pa and granny, Wayne and Marguerite Hamill, married August 29th, 1959, 57 years ago. I love you, and I've always looked up to both of you. Thank you for your great example you've set for us all, in your marriage and in how you live your lives for others. This bouquet and this toast are for you. And that's all, folks.